You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
We're the whites. Nobody ever cares if bad things happen to us anymore.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
Fuck you. War.
Hey yo, Fraxel, this the one.
Je grave les images de souvenirs lointains, beauté de paysage enflamme mon destin. Les airs d'autrefois déclinaient les saisons, aux innombrables voix ont écrit ma chanson. Je grave les images de souvenirs lointains, beauté de paysage enflamme mon destin. Les airs d'autrefois déclinaient les saisons, aux innombrables voix ont écrit ma chanson.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Because it's still Black History Month, I got a special treat for you guys before we get into tonight's festivities and such. Don't say I never gave you niggas nothing dope. I pulled this one out of my special stash. I've been holding on to this one for a moment where I thought it would reach maximum appreciation. And here we are. I think tonight's the night. So in honor of Black History Month, and they canceled the Lord of the Rings show. There will be no season 3 on the Lord of the Rings show.
Rings, give me all them rings. Rings, give me all them rings. Nigga, rings, give me all them rings. On my mama's fucking life, I'ma have them rings, nigga. One nigga to roll them all and one nigga to find them. One nigga to bring them all in darkness and bind them. I said one nigga to rule them all and one nigga to find them. One nigga to bring them all in darkness and bind them. I said, Lordy, I'm the Lord of them rings. Lordy, I'm the Lord of them rings. Nigga, Lordy, niggas dying in the streets. Lordy, dying over them rings. Nigga, rings, give me all them rings. Rings, give me all them rings. Nigga, rings, give me all them rings. On my mama's fucking life, I'ma have them rings, nigga.
Lordy, I'm the Lord of them rings, nigga. Lordy, I'm the Lord of them rings. On my mama fucking life, I'ma have them rings, nigga. You can't lie. That shit kind of knocked a little bit. That shit was a bop. It was a little bit, it was halfway a bop. That day was almost there. They was on their way to something. That shit would have set the Shire on fire. Y'all don't even know. Summertime in the Shire gonna be lit now. Cause I'm the Lord of them rings. Anyway. Now that we got all this madness out of our system here, let's have a real conversation now. Let's talk about it some. The other day we had a guest on here, Miss B. Hi, Miss B. I really thank you for your participation in the show the other night, because there was a question, and I really should have dug back through the minutes of that show to sample that little clip. But there was a question I posed to Miss B, and her experience in the professional world and having to interact with the DEI initiatives. I asked her about how Black women are affected by this, DEI stuff, and essentially having money and the force of the government all lined up behind them. And her answer was that, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I'm going back a week or two trying to remember a brief conversation, but she kind of admitted that it does lead to a haughtiness. It does lead to a bit of hubris, perhaps, on the part of the women folk. And what I've noticed and what I've kind of long suspected is that, this gender war thing, this Black online gender war thing, for a long time, I really thought that all these conversations with women and trying to convince women that, I'm right and you're wrong and you should follow me because I'm the man. All those conversations were actually weak and kind of gay, because that's not how people actually operate, and women are people too, despite what you may have heard. And people respond to power and consequence, right? And so we're approaching a power situation without power and without the ability to leverage consequence. And that was the problem in and of itself. I've always argued that the gender war between men and women is way more political than it is romantic. Truth be told, women aren't that romantic. They really don't care about that kind of stuff. They will bang a hot guy in a dumpster and ask the guy that loves them to bring her flowers to prove his love. Guy's been having the wrong conversation for a long time. And what Elon Musk did the other day when he just pulled the pen and destroyed this entire USAID department, he pulled the curtain back on just how much the government was funding global left-wing initiatives. Whether it's feminism, transgenderism, black womanism, black girl magic, it was all a scam paid for by the United States government. None of it was real. None of it was organic. None of it was actually earned. It was all just a giant scam. And so what we found out is that once you actually get to the heart of the money, you know, it's like when you kill the prime vampire and all the vampires that he turned and all the vampires that they turned and so on and so forth, they all start to die. USAID was like the prime vampire. And once we blew USAID up, I think it's going to be a few years as we sort through the fallout of blowing up USAID. But one thing is clear. One thing is absolutely clear. Black women had their bag fucked with. Black women just had their bag touched. And they don't like that. They are very upset. You were not supposed to touch their bag. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Don't touch black women's bag. They get upset when you touch their bag. They get very upset.
Trust black women, they lead the way. White women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women, they lead the way. Oh, we're mad as hell. Oh, can't you tell? Oh, we're mad as hell. Can't you tell? We dissent, you fucking fascists.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
Remember my equation. I have equations in life. One of them is secularism plus affluence equals boredom. And boredom equals bad stuff.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Why?
Did Prager just insinuate black women is bad stuff? Anyway, we'll come back to this.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
So this happened yesterday.
So what?
Apparently, Elon Musk and his Doge guys, they went down to the Department of Education. And they locked the building down like the fucking Marines taking a beachhead. They took the Department of Education. It's ours now. Your job belongs to me now. It's my building.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
I showed you the ID. I showed you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
Come on.
Yeah. All it takes is one stern no, white man. You may not have realized this up until just now, but that's really, I mean, honestly, to be fair, we had to take like millions and millions and millions of dollars out of the background because there was a lot of dark money floating around in the back, propping all this shit up. And so once you removed all that, then all it takes is a stern no. And we have to be able to tell the hoes no. It makes no sense to have all this money and you can't tell the hoes no. It's foolish.
20 years. I worked for USAID for 20 years. I studied why the wheels on the bus go round and round for 20 years. And Elon Musk fired me. 20 years. I worked for USAID for 20 years. I studied why the wheels on the bus go round and round for 20 years, and Elon Musk fired me.
Our medical benefits, all of the information that we use when we are trying to get a motherfucking tax return. And you're gonna take our money? Homie, don't play that. Our medical...
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Hello, I am right outside the Treasury building. We are going to be going there in just a few minutes, knocking on the door. We want to know what is up. What is up with our money? What is up with our payments? What is up with Elon Musk taking all of our information? Hello, I am right outside the Treasury building. We are going to be going there in just a few minutes, knocking on the door. We want
Elon got their money, y'all. Elon got their money. Listen, man, you got to tell a hoes no. You just got to.
I hit a woman for the first time in my life, and I'm having fun.
Got to tell the hoes no. If you don't tell the hoes no, they're going to think it's all a yes, and that's how you die. That's how civilization dies, when the hoes think everything is a go.
The majority of basically whites in this country willing to accept a dishonorable human being, someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies, someone who has been openly and brazenly racist, someone who has, talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
For a second, I thought she was going to say his love for Poontang. For a second.
Made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter. And Putin and talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
This is all why you don't like him, but why has America voted for him?
Racism is the basic point. People don't like to talk about racism.
Yeah, yes. Everyone in America is becoming more and more racist against black women. Everyone. The Mexicans, the Indians, the Asians, the Arabs, the black men, the niggas, the pookie. Everybody is becoming more and more racist against black women. It's very tough out here in these streets right now for a week.
But the fact of the matter is, the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. And that's who has been talking to all campaign about taking the country back. Taking it back from whom? Taking it back from too many minorities who are doing too well, who are succeeding.
Because there are a lot of people in this country who do not like black women, but black women are the base of the Democratic Party.
The wealth gap, and something has to be done in his estimation. And so that's what it's really all about. It's not about the economy and all that, people would like to basically hide behind.
Remember, and we kind of cracked the code on these numbers when Trump put it on blast the other day, but most of your DEI stuff goes to women and gays. A lot of those women and gays are white, but either way, not a lot of straight black men in that DEI crowd. So you bitches on your own. You go fight for your own pork chops.
It's about white versus other.
Just a quick reminder in between this rage, guys. Don't forget to like the video if you have.
I'm saying the majority of the Americans will buy into anything as long as they believe that somehow they will have more advantage. They will have more ownership.
There's something I realized too, as I was putting together some clips for today's show. Black folk are in a really awkward position, vis-a-vis white people and race relations and reparations and whatnot. Black folk are in the perpetual asking position, right? It's always an ask. I need you to do this. I want you to do that. If you would only do this, it would be better. If you would just stop doing that, it'd be awesome, right? Black folk are always in the position of the ask. We're never the ones to offer. We're never the ones that have the power to, make something happen. It's always the ask. And the problem with being in this position, well, not problem, but the reality of being in the ask position. And I've had this, I've experienced this personally, firsthand. I understand very well the power of being liked, the power of having a solid reputation, right? Having a good reputation literally means you can walk through dangerous neighborhoods unscathed. That's been the reality of most of my adult life, because at some point my reputation presents itself, people respect it, and I don't have the problems that some other guys may have, right? Having a reputation of honesty, dependability, or whatnot, it creates an aura where people want to help you. If you have the kind of energy that people want to help you, like if you give off positive, welcoming vibes, people are more likely to go out of your way to help you. People are more likely to show up when you're in a jam, because people actually help people that they like. But if you practice being disliked, if you practice being obnoxious, the help won't show up when you most need it. And one thing I've witnessed is very much a feminine issue. Women expect to be liked without offering likability. And I think to spread that out, I think the Black community expects to be liked without offering likability. And you have to offer something. You can't forever be in the position of asking, and you can't even offer anything. You have to offer something. And at the very base of it all is just plain likability. I will give $1 to the bum I like versus the bum I don't like, and they both smell like shit. But if I just happen to like this bum, like maybe he tap danced, so he told a funny joke one day, he gets the $1.
That they don't have to worry about others who will be equal to them. You can call it what you want, but that's the way it is.
It looks, Congressman Walters, as if he's expanded his base to include more Black voters, more Latino voters, more people of color this time round. I mean, not more than Harris, but more than last time round. Doesn't that fight your theory?
Well, I don't know. We've got to wait and see. I don't know what the expansion is. There may,
again, and the left wing of America has the same exact issue, and it's all coming to bear right now. On the one hand, it's become very obvious that you're not really asking white women per se to give up their seat, because women are still women. You're not really asking like gay white men to give up their seat, because the gays are still oppressed, right? You're only asking the straight white man to give up anything. And at this point, if you're going to continue to ask things of the straight white man, you could at least be likable. I don't know. I don't know what I'm not asking the white man for nothing, but maybe you got to fondle his balls or something. I don't know, but at the very least, be likable. If you bitches can't even bother to be likable, then don't ask for anything.
I jump in real quick because this is a great segue. You mentioned white folks and their feelings and this idea of fairness, but it actually goes deeper than that. I think the heart of this was revealed in some polling by expert Dr. Tatish Nateta from UMass. So he polled a bunch of folks. He said over 60% of Americans generally oppose reparations. But here's what here's the dig here. The main reason he found for the opposition, it's not about the money. It's not about Darity's $16 trillion. It's not about the question of even how to distribute the money or about who would qualify. It comes down to a fundamental idea, and this is in quotes because this is right from the polling, of deservedness. Yes. For those opposed to reparations, the most common reason given was that descendants of enslaved people do not deserve reparations. It's not even about fairness.
Yeah.
All right. The bald head and the baldy guy doesn't understand, but deserve and fairness are essentially linked. You can't really have deserved without fairness, and vice versa. Those ideas are coupled. You can't really uncouple fairness from deserved. If you got what you deserved, it was fair, right? That's how it works, right? That being said, I think deserved is basically white polite code for I just don't really like you niggas. If I liked you niggas more, I might be, more amenable to giving you $1 or something. But I just don't like you niggas. So fuck off.
For those opposed to reparations, the most common reason given was that descendants of enslaved people do not deserve reparations. It's not even about fairness, about the deservedness. 29% of those who opposed said they didn't deserve it. How do we even rectify any of that in this conversation when white America, a majority of them who oppose this, feel that we just don't simply deserve it?
See, this is why you're such a great host, because this was like literally the stat that I was going to bring up. And that is the hurdle, right? That's the obstacle, right? The racism in all of this, right? Like we could talk about the economics parts of it. We can talk about the legal parts of it, the historical parts of it. But at a point, you're going to have to.
Is it racist if I just don't like you and your whole family? I mean, there are other people in the world I like just fine. You and your family are awful. Is that racist? Is it like lowercase racism?
You're going to have to realize that the biggest obstacle to reparations is white people keep white peopling, right? Like it's the
biggest obstacle to reparations is white people don't want to give you their money for nothing. And in order to convince people to give you their money for nothing, it helps if they actually like you. That's generally how the con works. Niggas have forgotten. It's weird. All these Donald Goines books and Iceberg Slim and all that shit. All these books that have been out there to explain the game. They even had movies. What was the one movie with the boy white folks? The white dude. Well, he was really half black, but he looked straight white because his mama was in a whorehouse or whatever. And they was out there running cons the whole movie until the end, right? The one thing about the con, actually, it's in the name. A con artist, you understand where the word con comes from? Confidence. Confidence. They used to call a con artist a confidence man, as in a person who builds up your confidence in him. Black folk don't really understand the confidence part of the con. It's all pitch with no con. Like you have to have con in the pitch, right? And without building up the confidence, there is no con.
All of the other all of the arguments we've made today have been logical.
Yes.
Right? And the argument against it is because they niggas. Right? Like that's the
that is literally the argument. Yeah, because they niggas. Yes. How often do you get conned by a straight nigga? Doesn't usually happen. People have their guard up, right? This is the problem because they niggas, all right? Nobody wants to just open their pockets for niggas. Now, here's the other side of the game. If you were upstanding, respectable black folk, you wouldn't even be asking for reparations and you wouldn't have the need for it, but that's a whole other rap.
Argument. That's what it is. And I mean, it sounds blunt, but that is the only argument, right? Right. And that's the hurdle that we have to overcome because
It's so weird, and I'm making this whole diatribe, and I'm looking at him. You look like a nigga that stole a white man's suit, boy. I tell you. You ain't even rocking it right. Nigga stole a white man's suit, and he ain't even rocking it right. Oh man, I tell you, cosplay niggas. This is why I call them professional blacks, because it's their job to get on television and be black people. Let's put on the white man's suit, boy. Go on, put on the white man's suit. Go be black on TV with the white man's suit on, boy.
I want to say what was really lovely about what you just said is just to remind people we built a government to work for all of us.
Yes.
You know, we're just all better off if, in fact, the bird flu gets under control and that our eggs won't kill us. We are all better off. We're better off if we make these investments in infrastructure. We make these investments in our payment system so people don't get cheated. That's how we keep the economy going. And look, bless everybody who gets out there and makes a fortune. Bless everybody who gets up every day and goes to work. But understand,
it's like a biblical curse, but being ruled by women is hell, basically. It's somewhere in the Bible. You guys will point it out to me later.
the underpinnings of all that are something we all invested in. And now we've got Donald Trump and his co-president Elon Musk, and they're just running a wrecking ball through it. And it's not like it's an abstract problem. It is really and truly the kid who needs an aid to be able to sit in class so that they can get an education, taking that aid away and maybe taking away that whole classroom.
Did we just take money from the you know that school where all the bad kids go to when they get kicked out of all the other schools? Is that where we just took the money from?
These very real ways that people are touched by this.
Yeah. This USAID thing, it'll be years before we really can crack the code on just how much we wasted, because it's not just like they spent all that money last year and those are the official numbers. How long has this USAID thing been going on? When was the USAID department even founded? Because you'd have to go all the way back to day one. But this is how long and how deep the vast left-wing conspiracy actually goes. Remember years ago, Hillary Clinton popularized the term vast right-wing conspiracy. And as it turns out, like everything the left says, it's almost all total lies and projection. There is a vast left-wing conspiracy, and it's all paid for by the white man's dollars.
Mark Moyer, he's a USAID whistleblower, and he joins me now. So, Mark, you started at USAID, and what they do the first thing, did they send you to DEI camp?
Yes, and great to be with you, Jesse. So I didn't get into the agency till February 2018, and this is one of the big differences that we're already seeing. That in 2017, Trump administration was very slow to get into the agency. So I get there in February, and we have what's called a privilege walk as part of the orientation, where you are given an identity. Now, I was a Scandinavian woman, and so when they read lines like, you know, I get discriminated against because of government services, or people don't look how I look. So you took a step forward if it applied and if it didn't. And so I ended up near the front, and the indigenous woman with, you know, unwanted pregnancy and the male prostitute were at the other end. And then we talked about our privileges.
All right. So you were trained to be a Scandinavian woman in a privilege walk, not root out corruption. What kind of disguises do they use to fund these projects? I mean, do they just change the names of these things? Is there really some other reason we're doing this?
Yeah, they're very effective at rebranding things. So in the first Trump administration, the priorities were support national interests as they are now. Another thing was countering terrorism and promoting self-reliance. So I went to a country, just to give one example, they had a feminist women's book club that had been started under the Obama administration. And then they now said this is a counter-terror program because women, feminist women are key fighters in the battle against terrorism.
Oh, yes.
Feminist women are key fighters in the battle against terrorism. That's a lot for me to think. It seems like feminist women are more focused on getting transgenders to play on high school team sports and stuff.
So she is transgender. So any school district that like we're considering or private schools or anything, we'd like them to be accepting and welcoming towards transgender students. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then does Brenda play any sport?
Soccer.
So I will let you know
Mhm.
that here in Texas, it is the UIL policy that they have to play on the team of the gender they were assigned at birth.
So she
Yeah, we're taking all the money from women like this. We're taking all the money from women like this. Hey, Uncut Underground, bro. What do you want me to tell you, man? The Holy Land keep holy landing, bro. I don't want to fight that fight right now. I am not fighting that fight right now. That is my one criticism of like Trump in this era. And I saw it coming, and there was nothing you could do to stop it because it was really a big devil, little devil type of thing. But I'd rather go with Trump than Kamala, obviously. That being said, the Holy Land gonna keep holy landing. I mean, what do you want me to tell you about that shit, bro? I mean, Trump right now, what he's doing is very interesting in the terms of, all right, I'm going to do some things to, keep the white boys from blowing shit up. But we're going to make we're going to expand the Holy Land. We're having a Holy Land expansion program. I mean, I guess he's trying to keep everybody happy. It's a weird game to play. I don't like it all, but, you can't always get what you want. You know what I mean? But if you try sometimes, you just might find you can get what you need. And what we need is to take the money from all of these woke bitches. These big mouth woke bitches, they got to go broke. I'll settle for that for now. We can fight other fights later.
We will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the city. We are at war. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war. We will not take this. We will fight back.
She reminded me of Hova for a second. I thought a song was about to come on. Well, how'd it go? And I will not lose. Give it to me. Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff. I thought a song was about to come on. I thought I heard Hov about to start rapping.
We are not going to sit around while you go ahead and desecrate our Constitution, or you look at the laws that have been passed into law and say, never mind, we'll just ignore that. Instead, we are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. We are not going to sit around.
Motherfuckers is supposed to take and accept whatever the fuck you say, because I'm a black woman. Bitch, shut up. The fuck out of here.
Beginning of dictatorship looks like when you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power. That is how dictators are made. What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse. We get to decide where money is allocated, and it's the executive's power to make sure that that money gets to where it needs to get. When we talk about civil servants being let go, what we are talking about is not saving money. It's essentially saying they can get paid while they're home and their work doesn't get done on behalf of the American people. It is us, taxpayers, who are being ripped off. It is us, taxpayers, who are not getting the resources that we paid into. So I ask the American people, do you want people at home and getting a paycheck and not providing services to you? The answer is no. Do you want the executive making the only decisions in this country, or do you want the elected representatives that you send to Washington making those policies? I am exceptionally upset about USAID. I lived in a refugee camp for 4 years as a child surviving civil war. It is the essential programs that USAID provided that kept my family and I fed and safe. It is the resources that so many people around the world rely on. And it is our soft power. Oftentimes, people interact with our country through the military. That does not create love for us, and it certainly does not keep us safe. When the world interacts with Americans through programs that provide essential need, they get to see the heart and compassion of the American people. When someone is struggling because their bridge broke down, when USAID comes in and helps fix that bridge, that
Hold up, bitch. Hold the fuck up, bitch. How many bridges got wiped out in North Carolina last month? Up here talking about she be fixing bridges and shit. Talking about she be fixing destroyed roads and shit. We got wiped out bridges from, North Georgia to like West Virginia. How many bridges did USAID fix this last month? I need to know. How many bridges did USAID fix last month? That was crazy. She just said that.
Because their bridge broke down, when USAID comes in and helps fix that bridge, that creates goodwill for the American people.
That's why we took your money, bitch, because you ain't fix our bridges. That's exactly why we took your money. You ain't fixed not near one bridge for us. You over here building bridges for transgenders in Guatemala, but we can't get a bridge in North Carolina. We can't get a bridge in the goddamn what are those mountains? In the Great Smoky Mountains, you know what I mean? We can't get bridges in North Carolina, but you can build bridges for blind mice in the desert, though. 3 blind mice in the desert have a bridge because of USAID, but we had to depend on the Amish to get to North Carolina. The Amish. You know how long it takes for the Amish to get there? They do everything on horseback. Shout out to the Amish, by the way. I'm not bullshitting. We had to wait till the Amish made it all the way to North Carolina, and they built some bridges, and they made some pathways. They cleared out some roads. USA didn't build near one bridge for North Carolina. The Amish got there. As soon as they take a long time to get there, but once they get there, that barn goes up overnight. The bridge is done before lunch. Like, the Amish work like white Mexicans, bro. They are white Mexicans, technically.
Provide essential need, they get to see the heart and compassion of the American people. When someone is struggling because their bridge broke down, When USAID comes in and helps fix that bridge, that creates goodwill for the American people. When people are dying of malaria and there is medication through USAID, that creates goodwill for.
We had a whole chemical well, not an explosion, a derailment. We had a whole train full of nasty juices flip over in Ohio. Where was USAID? Where was USAID when a whole train full of Joker chemicals spilled over in Ohio? That's why we took your money. That's why you ain't got no money right now, because you didn't give not a dime to the people in Ohio when a train full of Joker chemicals flipped over. He was like, fuck it. They got Ohio Riz. They be all right. That's that Ohio Riz. They be good. Totally shitted on Ohio. Half the town looking like the Joker right now, but you up here crying about USAID money because some foreign women in the third world, they can't get fresh tampons now. Fuck them. We got to fix Ohio.
When someone is struggling because their bridge broke down, when USAID comes in and helps fix that bridge, that creates goodwill for the American people. When people are dying of malaria and there is medication through USAID, that creates goodwill for the American people. When people are fleeing and they need just a little bit of food and USAID is there to provide that, that creates goodwill for the American people.
Keep begging, bitch. I don't think the king can hear you. Beg harder, foreigner. Beg a little bit louder. The king can't hear you from all the way up there.
Privileged billionaires who don't give a damn about America and Americans should not be making decisions that put Americans at harm. And a billionaire that hasn't been vetted, has not gone through confirmation, has not been elected by the American people, who we still do not understand what in the world he's doing, should not be telling American employees that.
Look how desperately they want the white man's money. Look how desperate they want the white man's money. And you know, I'm offended on behalf of the white man. Because this is some man shit. This is some man shit. And I'm on behalf of white men, I'm offended on this level. Let me explain why. I have never had a woman beg for money this much and never even offer to blow me. Not that I wanted the blowjob, but you got to at least offer. Like, you're going to beg this hard. You're going to beg for all this money, all this time, and you're not even going to pucker up. You're not even going to hawk to or nothing. I mean, you could at least put a little spit on it. Like, Jesus Christ, this is the dryingest, beggingest bitches I've ever seen in my life.
American people who we still do not understand what in the world he's doing should not be telling American employees that they cannot access the building they work at. What kind of country is this man turning our country into? What kind of country are we becoming? It is embarrassing.
It's crazy how this one random white guy with the bald head, he's just standing in front of a door doing his job. He's like a federal security guard, but he just became the king. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? I think this is what bitches mean when they say white privilege, right? This is exactly what these bitches mean when they say white privilege. This guy is just a federal level security guard, but suddenly you told a bunch of bitches no, and we made him king. Oh, like, holy shit. I think this is white privilege. All it took was one berserker on the bridge to stand against the charge. You realize this is like technically, this is like a historical moment. This moment tracks to like, there's a story. I can't remember because it's a very old story. It's like, you know, Vikings and shit. But there was a story of a lone Viking berserker who held the bridge. And you know how, like, you know, it's not like the Williamsburg Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, it's an old bridge back in the day. So it only took one guy with a big axe to swing that motherfucker and it would back people off. And so there was a story of this Viking berserker who stands alone on the bridge, and he holds back the trolls. Well, really, they're like British or whatever. But we're going to call these people trolls because Maxine Waters is on the screen right now. Shout out to John Galt. Shout out to the homie. We got neighbors. I try to have good relations with all my neighbors and shit, you know. But you got that one little funny looking nigga living under your stairs, John. Anyway, that being said, this one berserker on the bridge, right? And he probably dies at the end of the battle because, you know, no one man can really do that forever. But if the berserker that held the bridge survived the battle, we would make him king. We would make him king. He does look like Bruce Willis. Oh, shit. He looks like John McClane. Yippee-ki-yay, Keisha. Oh, fuck no. Oh, no. Not John McClane. Not John McClane. Oh, stop. Stop. Next, he's going to be outside of the another government department building with that white placard that says, I hate niggers. Oh, shit. No, this is John McClane for real? This is John McClane. We got our own Die Hard. We got our own Die Hard, man. And shout out to Bruce Willis, man. Bruce Willis, if you don't know, Bruce Willis is going out kind of rough right now. He's got some kind of crazy brain issue. He's basically, he needs all his family to help him right now. I don't think he can really speak and get around. He's in a dark stage of life right now, but he's keeping his faith up. He's keeping his strength up. But Bruce Willis is going through it right now, man. Shout out to Bruce Willis. I always like Bruce Willis in his movies. But we got a new Die Hard right now. Yippee-ki-yay, Keisha. What you want to do now? I got your money, bitch. Yeah, it's in here behind me, and you can't get through me. You can get your money if you can get through me, but you can't get through me, can you?
Embarrassing to read the headlines about free America, where one man is walking around like he is the boss of all of us, and we don't know who put him in charge. And it is time for us to put an end to that. And I want to say to our Republican colleagues, pay attention. We're here today in the hopes that you will see the light. But if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! And I want to say to our Republican colleagues, pay attention. We're here today in the hopes that you will see the light. But if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! Will match their energy. With unprecedented organizing, mobilizing, agitating, we will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nutball baby. A godless, lawless billionaire who no one elected. Elon, this is the American people. This is not your trashy Cybertruck that you can just dismantle, pick apart, and sell the pieces of. We will match their energy. with unprecedented organizing, mobilizing, agitating. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby. A godless, lawless billionaire who no one elected. Elon, this is the American people. This is not your trashy Cybertruck that you can just dismantle, pick apart, and sell the pieces of. We will match their energy.
Without objection, it's ordered.
Now, during my colleague's question line, you stated that every program should be looked at. However, you signed a school voucher bill that sends $100 million of taxpayer dollars intended for public schools to private schools without any independent oversight of how this money is spent. Yes or no? Is this protecting against waste, fraud, and abuse?
They are held accountable. They are held accountable.
Last question. Iowa.
You know, there was something that came up the other day, and I'm glad I waited an extra day to cover it, because now we can wrap all this together in one package. But CNN, I don't know what's been going on with CNN lately. It seems like an interesting programming direction that they've went in. But CNN has turned into the panel of angry blacks versus one white guy. And the one white guy be skinning these niggas alive, bro. This shit is amazing to watch.
In this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a reality where I know I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know
and
that
I know
too.
what's going.
I got. And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run. And if you want,
I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city. But I have a.
I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about Ashley.
Let her finish. Okay,
right here. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in, and it's not
Even
because
in the White House.
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? Listen, if you got all these skills, all these credentials, you got a whole wall full of papers on it, and you can't get paid properly, that really does sound like a skills issue. I mean, what else could it be but a skills issue? You worked in Joe Biden's White House. You didn't work for Trump. You didn't work for none of the Bushes. You didn't work for Reagan. You worked for Joe Biden. And you couldn't even get paid properly? Skills issue.
Institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even
because
in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what happened when I was there? DEI.
So wait, let me get this straight. DEI, you couldn't earn your way into a higher paycheck with all of your skills and credentials, right? You couldn't leverage all of your skills or credentials into a better salary. You needed the government to help you out. And this is a really interesting issue. There's a male-female dynamic, to be sure, but it's not that, you know, men are just going out of their way to like not pay women as much, but men go out of their way to make more. And that's really the heart of the so-called gender pay gap. Women don't necessarily go out of their way to make all the extra money. Guys, we almost feel as though we have to. The guys who actually are the highest competitive guys, the higher achieving guys, there's something inside of them that tells them they have to go the extra mile. They have to do more than everyone else. They have to be a lot better than the next guy. And so for guys who actually earn the top dollar, it's literally because they fought for it. You don't want to do what they had to do to get there.
Scott.
Look,
I'm ahead, Scott.
Look,
no,
you're my friend. I respect you tremendously. I think you're probably the smartest operative in the Democratic Party, and they should listen to you more. That's number one. Number two, you and I share a comparable background. We're both from the Midwest. We both come from middle-class families, lower middle-class families, maybe. I actually think we share a lot of similarities in our journey. But I think you made it, and you are the most respected voice often at every room or every table you're in, not because of anything other than your talent and your work ethic. And that's all anybody ever is asking for, is for people with talent and work ethic to make it. And that's what I see in you. That's how I see you.
But let me tell you something about my story and my family's story, is that we have faced discrimination.
Why do we have to hear about your story? And here's the problem with, her quote story, right? This is their issue at hand. A lot of these people on television, they made it already. Almost every person that you see at this table is a millionaire or approaching that. They make a high salary. They make an unimaginably higher salary than the average American. Let's put it that way. And so every one of these black people, they live in the nicest white neighborhoods, right? One of them might live in a nice black neighborhood just for show, but they work to live in the nicest white neighborhood. And she wants us to hear the story about the time back in the day when her family might have been poor and shit was hard. Because only her family was poor, and she was the only family ever in the history of America to have a hard time.
I have faced discrimination. I just said I was the least paid person, even in this moment sometimes, to my counterparts. It is just the reality of the country we live in. And I'm not saying, I do believe I'm qualified. I know I'm qualified. You won't ever tell me I'm not qualified. But the system that I live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
I don't agree, because
when 2025.
Oh,
I don't think we're there in 2025.
You can't do
That's just not true.
That's just not true.
There is a mountain of evidence that suggests that you are wrong. Okay. Let's just
Again,
take
I'm
Ashley.
a New Yorker, so I'm jaded. I have the Attorney General as a black woman.
Yeah,
The mayor is a black man. The head of the Senate is.
Imagine being told by the richest niggas ever that I'm actually oppressed, I'm being discriminated against, and you have to listen to me.
Evidence that suggests that you are wrong. Okay, let's just
Again,
take Ashley.
I'm a New Yorker, so I'm jaded. I have the Attorney General as a black woman. The mayor is a black man. The head of the Senate is a black man.
Okay, New York is a small representation.
Well, small. New
United
York is not that
States
small.
of America.
Politics. Let me talk about
every judge I appear before is either a woman or a person of color.
Ashley just gave an anecdote, but the numbers.
Jason in the chat, shout out to Jason. He took the panel recently as devil's advocate. I appreciate him being a brave participant in that respect. But Jason in the chat asked a question. Racial discrimination exists. Can we agree on that? Yeah, sure. Racial discrimination exists. To what degree does racial discrimination hold black people back? Seriously, if you had to put a number on it, like, let's grade it like a high school paper from 1 to 100. How much racial discrimination actually exists, and how much of it actually keeps black people from achieving and succeeding? I await your response, Jason.
Also show black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense? And don't talk to me about the judges you stand before. Talk.
Oh God, we just stumbled onto an interesting part of the video right here. All this education I got, why I'm not making the white man's money. Black women are seriously asking the question, why is it that for all the education I got, I am not making white money?
I want what you white hoes get, and I want it today, ASAP, not tomorrow.
Why would that make any sense? Ashley just gave an anecdote, but the numbers also show Black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that?
Are Black women more educated than Asian boys? I mean, and I'm asking that to be, you know, very, very provocative. But if I had to guess, if I had to choose between advice from a 35-year-old Black woman and an 18-year-old Asian kid, I would probably take the 18-year-old Asian kid's advice on anything. I don't trust your education or your degree. You can't even make good money with it. I mean, it's not serving you well at all, apparently.
Ashley just gave an anecdote, but the numbers also show Black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense? And don't talk to me about the judges you stand before. Talk to me about the theory. Talk to me about the world in which we live in. And
let's look at the United States Supreme Court. How could you say we're not going to look at that from the top to the bottom? And I'm talking about the legal system.
New York is a more progressive. And we just got a Black woman.
Hold up. Let me.
We just got a Black woman on the
we got a Black man from the 70s.
You brought up the Supreme Court.
Or the 60s.
One.
Did you know, Arthur, that there are
hold on. What percentage of it does it represent the United States of America?
Why does it matter?
Oh, why does it matter? Because see, you don't even understand numbers, but you want the numbers to go in your favor. You see why this is frustrating? Let me bring the king back out. We need this king support on this here, because this is dealing with peasants and shit. These old peasant bitches. Why does it matter? You're a peasant. You wouldn't understand. Why does it matter? The fuck out of here. I thought you were educated. I thought you went to school. They didn't have math class in your Black college? They have rights! They have rights! So fucking what, man? Why does it matter? That's the exact same question they ask about body count, right? It's women in numbers, bro. Women in fucking numbers. I don't know what it is. For all the things that they have an emotional attachment to, numbers is not one of them. They can never have an emotional attachment to numbers. Only guys get emotionally attached to numbers because, you know, we have autism and shit. But girls, no. The girls can't look at the numbers and be like, oh my fucking God. Only dudes are like this.
The 70s.
You brought up the Supreme Court.
Or the 60s.
One. Did you know, Arthur, that there are
hold on. What percentage of it does it represent the United States of America?
Why does it matter?
Why
we got to go by numbers.
Why is it so hard for you to acknowledge what she just said? Why is it so hard?
Why is it just one? Why is there only one Italian American?
No, but why is it so hard for you to acknowledge what she just said about Black women being the most educated?
I did acknowledge it. I said that's not my experience.
Okay, but because you're not a Black woman.
No, I'm a New Yorker.
But New York is not representative of the rest of America.
Correct.
That's also important. It's also the most diversity in the country. Well, that's exactly. So of course there's more representation and women are.
And Scott, I think if you really see, you said something very beautiful. This is your friend. You guys share a lot of the same values. You guys think alike. You guys are literally friends off air. You text, you have good conversations. There is the yes and in that. There is something that says to me that you know what she's saying is true. You think she's smart. You know that she's smart. She's more educated than mostly everyone at this table. And so what she's saying isn't a lie. What she's saying is a real life experience. And so why is it so hard to understand why something like diversity, equity, inclusion needs to be a part of what we do in a system that never even acknowledged a group of people, never saw it?
What's the point of sending you to college if we're just going to give you a job and free money? Hey, how about this? How about we never send you to college and we just like build a little house for you to live in and we give you a little bit of money to live on. Give you an easy job too. Nothing too backbreaking. How do you feel about cotton? You ever seen cotton picked? It's not that difficult. It comes right off the plant. You just grab the little white part and just yank. How do you feel about cotton? I'm just saying, like, why not just skip to the end part? Why flirt around with all the middle section? Let's just skip right to the end. We don't need all this education. You need a satchel. That's what you need. You need a satchel. You fill this satchel, a sack, matter of fact, a sack. You fill this sack up with cotton. Fucking around with all this education and shit. All you wanted was some cotton. You're going through all of this so you can just wind up right back on the cotton field. Let's just skip all the middle shit and get right to the end game. Get you a sack right now.
Experience. And so why is it so hard to understand why something like diversity, equity, inclusion needs to be a part of what we do in a system that never even acknowledged a group of people, never saw us as a human commodity, just literally never noticed who we were. And now here we are years later asking for some simple rights, some simple civility. She's asking to be paid like you get paid.
The king has denied your rights. Return to your homes, peasants. The king, hear ye, hear ye. The king has decreed there will be no further rights granted to such peasantry. That is all.
She's asking to be acknowledged like you get acknowledged. And she knows that that is not the case because she is a Black woman.
She had a high-ranking position in the White House of the United States of America.
Dear friend,
she was one of the most celebrated political operatives in the country.
There's
Do you know how hard I had to work to get that?
Do you know how hard? Do you know how hard?
Do you know how hard I had to work? Oh my God, they wouldn't even let me wear my weave in the hospital room. I had to work so hard. It was hard out here for me. I was just working and working and working.
We need our weave. I don't wear it, but we need it.
The son of a garbage man had to work at it. So I'm just telling you,
I'm not saying that, but
talent and work ethic are everything. And that's why I think you're here.
It's not true. It's just not true. It's just not true.
The other thing is the access to opportunity is, I know you don't want to think that is true, but access to opportunity is what DEI is supposed to address. And not just when it comes to race, although race is important, but when it comes to women, when it comes to people with disabilities, when it comes to people from different.
Oh, Jesus. People with disabilities. We went through this thing with the FAA bullshit, right? Listen, it's hard out here for dwarves who got one leg longer than the other and they're an amputee missing 4 fingers. Like, it's hard out here. Yes, it's very difficult to find job placement for those people. Can we focus on the rest of us for a little while too? I'm just saying, I know there are special people with special handicap needs and stuff like that, but we can't stop this whole goddamn show every time a dwarf with one leg longer than the other, missing a couple fingers, needs a hand up. I mean, damn. Are we gonna get things done or not, Hey, shout out to my man over on the Rumble chat. And if you haven't done so already, guys, do me this favor. Please follow me on Rumble. You can support the show directly with a Rumble chat, or you can catch me on Venmo at The Hoodservative. But shout out to my man True High with the $10 Rumble chat. He says, funny how these same women, because of the politics, would look the other way when Judge Janice Rogers Brown or women like that are nominated or even done dirty in the process. What happened to BGM, Black Girl Magic? Apparently Black Girl Magic was paid for and sponsored by grants and donations from the USAID Department of the United States government, and the money has all dried up. Black Girl Magic is going to run short of money in about a week. maybe a month. It might take a little bit longer to pull those last couple of dollars out of the coffers, but Black Girl Magic is actually running out of money quite desperately, and I'm happy for them. They deserve it. They deserve to go broke. These hoes deserve to be broke. That's one thing that the pimps always understood. No matter how much money she bring in, she deserves to be broke. That's the only way to stay winning with her.
Different socioeconomic brackets from rural parts of the country.
I think that's the
other-
biggest issue. There's different socioeconomic brackets.
So now
more
we're
than
trying
race
to
and gender.
say, now we're trying to say that everything is equal just because I say it is, even though all the evidence.
Who said everything is equal?
Well, that's literally
said
we're like
everything is
we're already living in a meritocratic society, is what Scott and his colleagues want to say, when that's actually factually not true.
Do you not think everything is equal?
But I think it's generally,
everything-
I
of
think
course
it's
not.
generally
So then
true.
what? So actually,
But
okay,
I think
okay,
I
okay,
think
then
it should
let's talk-
it'll seek its own level. I don't think the government should be telling us to seek its own
but
level.
you literally
not
earlier
about, hold on,
just said-
DEI is not about the government. Y'all are talking to private companies
Yes.
and telling them you can't
do
operate
it. It's
about
the
both.
way you
I
want to
think, but
operate.
also you literally just said, I don't think it will seek itself out, because you literally just said human nature. That's how we operate.
That's
so
right.
sometimes,
Yes,
which is why the
I
civil
think
rights
it's more
movement was
I
so
think it's more
important.
socioeconomic
And
than
this
it
is this
is
is why, like, when they
racial.
talk about like canceling the Department of Education, why they talk about the federal government. The reason why the federal government was so important, particularly for Black people to seek justice in this country, is because it was the one bastion of hope that people had when states took control and they had discriminatory practice laws.
Okay, but
The
that was a long
Supreme
time
Court.
ago.
What? How long ago? Tell me how long.
Right. It was a long time ago. And when does it end? And that's really one of the other questions at the heart of this whole diversity progressive movement. It's just unlimited. There's no limiting principle, and there's no endpoint, right? And so it's just 100% for infinity years. And if you don't like it, it's because you're the racist and you're the problem and you're the reason why we have to do 100% diversity for infinity years. Yeah, and it's at gunpoint, right? 100% diversity for infinity years at gunpoint. Yeah, that is ironic. This is an epic shot right here, SKC. The irony of the all access interest. The irony of the all access entrance isn't lost on me. Yeah, it just takes one white man who says no. He is the berserker on the bridge. A 1,000 years ago, we would have rewarded this man with virgins and buckets of gold and giant casks of mead and ale. He would have had the fattest calf in the land. We would have slaughtered a bull for this man 1,000 years ago. He would have married the chieftain's daughter, had little red-headed, blue-eyed children. A 1,000 years ago, they would have carved out a chair for this man and welcomed him into the halls of Valhalla. But today you get to be king for a day. That's all we got for you right now. It's 2025. All we got, the best I got for you is king for a day memes. That's the best I got for you right now, buddy. I wish this was 1,000 years ago. We could properly pay you like you deserve. Let's go back to this this moment at the door. Let's actually watch him as he faces down the hordes of liberal demons. Yes, he is Hodor. Hodor. That was one of the most epic. This is total segue, right? But that was really one of the most epic plot line thread connections of the Game of Thrones series. For the entire show, you have this one big dumb character. And I have this thing about like really big retarded niggas. I get a little physically like I feel like one of us gonna have to die in this moment, like, because this just big retarded dudes are capable of that shit and they won't even feel it. You know what I mean? And they got like this big retarded guy in the show named Hodor, and nobody really understood why he kept saying Hodor. And it took us all the way to like one of the last seasons to understand he was holding the door. The three-eyed raven is in this gentleman right now. I feel like this I feel the presence of the three-eyed raven right now. For a moment, this man was possessed by the three-eyed raven, and he was compelled to hold the door. He didn't even really understand why. He probably couldn't even verbalize what was going in his mind. It was just a feeling. I saw these nigga bitches coming, and I kept hearing this voice in my head. I'm looking at these nigga bitches getting close, and I just kept hearing this voice. It's hold the door, 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 hold the door. He held the door. Oh my God, he just had this whole Game of Thrones Hodor moment, and it was epic as fuck.
Do they know that we are here? Max, ask the question again. That's important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of this door on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress and go at the desk?
Doing my job.
So everybody's
What is that? We're doing our jobs. We're trying to save your
It's non-responsive. Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
to federal buildings.
Hold the door.
We're allowed in there.
Hold the
So
door.
a private security contractor
Do you know who members of Congress are?
members of
Sure, we're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand.
A private security contractor is
Look
making
at
a
Hodor
decision to
go.
block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
We should knight him. We gotta knight him. Can we do that in America? I know it's not really an American thing, but we have to make him a knight. Sir Hodor of the door. We have to knight him. This is Sir Hodor of the door. A valiant warrior. It was him alone at the Battle of Ed. He stood alone on the bridge. Sir Hodor of the door, he stood alone at the Battle of Ed, and he faced down the dark minions of progressivism.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority as a private security contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah. So when the goes out. Oh my. Look at that. Who told you to do this? Open the door. So do you understand who members of Congress are? Well, and you don't care. Who are we then? You don't.
Said, I don't care. Said, I don't care. Yeah, I know who all of you motherfuckers are. I don't fucking care. So what? Eat balls.
They have rights.
They have rights. So fucking what, man? JT, did you call him Sir Braun of the Black Weave? Oh God, yo, we got to give him a knight's name, bro. He deserves to be knighted for his battle, for his gallantry today at the great Battle of Ed. Sir Braun, Sir Hodor of the door.
We have a job to do. We're not dangerous people. We're not. I don't know. We're members security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members.
Look, I don't know about you. These old bitches look dangerous as fuck to me. These old bitches look like they'll burn the country down. I don't trust these old hoes for shit. We're not dangerous people. That's exactly what dangerous old hoes be saying. And next thing you know, you get hit with a pot of grease or something like that. Nope. You fooled me before. Now look at where we are. Nope. Nuh-uh. Not gonna fool me again.
It's Uncle Remus spinning his warm, funny stories.
What black women are doing, I don't care. They're their own group. When they decide to work with us, they will. Otherwise, they won't. And they don't have to. They have their own power, their own productivity. They don't need us for anything. And I'm okay with that.
The key to happiness is to eliminate all black women from your life. I mean, look at me. No black women in my life. Look how happy I am. I'm happy as a nigga with a new gun.
Now, Ruckus, that is preposterous.
Members of Congress, we're parents, we're teachers.
There's our ID, right there.
We were elected to do this.
This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job.
Oh, wow. You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
How are you feeling?
That's members of the people's house.
You know, it's so funny. It is actually ironic. And yeah, SKC, nobody on the left wing mainstream media actually cares about counting the money. They don't want to know why we spent millions of dollars transgendering mice, right? Nobody wants to know why we spent money to see if tarantulas can give blowjobs, right? Nobody wants to know why we spent all this money on all these things. But ironically enough, that lady did just say, no, we're not thieves. Yes, the fuck you are. That is exactly why we're here. Y'all been stealing. Y'all been stealing like crazy. And you thought nobody would know. You thought nobody was going to find out. You thought you were the only person who could read. Well, the white man can read too. Y'all was stealing like crazy. You got the nerve to look this white man. You gonna look the king in his face and tell him you're not a thief, when the only reason the king even came down here is because y'all was stealing from the royal treasury? No. No, bitch. That's not how this
This
works.
is the beginning of full
Lie right to the king's
transparency
face.
of
Look at
this
this.
administration.
Bullshit.
The administration that talked about they're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't even open the door to this building,
Right.
to
Go to the
members of
visitor
Congress.
desk.
We are not posing any threat here.
Not
No, we are not
whatsoever.
dangerous people. We have not
They
done
won't even
anything.
let us
We're
talk to
trying
the
to
Department of
request
Education
a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
A private security contractor. So you're saying he kills people for money? Yeah. Yeah, you might not want to fuck with that guy. Private security contractor. That means when he goes to work in a foreign country, there's no paperwork when he shoots a brown guy. He just has to get away. You know, when you're like a Marine and you shoot one of the locals, there's so much fucking paperwork. Oh my God. But when you're like private military and you shoot one of the locals, that nigga just dies. Yeah. Yeah. That kind of energy changes a man. You know what I mean? He's got that look on his face too, like, yeah, you could just die. He really does have that look on his face, you know, like, it's so fucking easy. You have no idea how easy it is. You really could just die. Wouldn't even change the look on my face at all. You could just die. Out here crying. Don't leave the private military contractor alone. Why?
They're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't even open the door to this building, to
Go to the
members of
visitor
Congress.
desk.
We are not posing any threat here.
Not
No, we are not
whatsoever.
dangerous people. We have not
They
done
won't even
anything.
let us
We're
talk to the
trying to
Department of
request
Education.
a meeting, and they have a private security contractor.
Yeah. The king says he doesn't want to talk to you hoes. I don't know what part of that you didn't really understand. Do I need to write it in Ebonics or something? I need to spray paint it on a building. I want to talk to you hoes. Hey, shout out to True Hype again with the $2 Rumble chat. He says, got to hit them with the day from Friday after next. Y'all old hoes got to get away from here. Yeah, big facts. Y'all old hoes got to get away from here. And shout out to my man True Hype. He's the sponsor of the show tonight. I appreciate you guys coming through. Thank you so much for supporting the show, Hype. Smash that like button, y'all. Be like True Hype, man. Donate to the show, y'all. Follow me on Rumble.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
I haven't noticed, like I said on the last stream, just before I went live today, I erased the last stream off of the our main channel over here on the Hood Conservative. So if you want to catch any replays, you're gonna have to follow me on my backup channels right now. Right now, I'm trying to filter everybody over to Rumble. Back to the show, though.
Who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
So Congressman Hayes, what you're saying is they're not, they allow billionaires and his minions to come in
I don't
to
know
this
who
building.
he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am.
allow-
And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go in this building, but not the people's representatives. They allow billionaires and their cronies to go in, but not, there's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out.
Yeah.
Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education.
Call
and
the
they're treating
police?
it-
Oh, stop. They call the popo? Did they call the police on the government? I didn't even know you could do that. Oh, stop. I didn't even know that was like a thing in our list of abilities. See, this is why when you get a new game, you got to like read the handbook. You know how like when you get a fighting game, you got to like download, not even download, you got to like read the little move book so you can learn how to do all the little power moves and stuff. I wasn't even reading a book. I didn't even know we had this ability. I didn't know you can call the police on the government. That's gangster.
This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out. Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating
The
us.
kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia.
Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him. This
A
man
private
here.
contractor. We are members.
That is the king for today. See, last time around, we had the Burger King. You guys remember the Burger King? Yeah. The last time around, we had the Burger King. This year, we have a whole new king. He didn't even have to say it. He just had to stand there and look royal. We have a new king this year. America, fuck yeah.
Members of Congress, come in and I want you to see this man here who is a federal employee. He told us.
No, he's not.
Are you a federal employee?
No.
Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here, all access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States.
You know, if he keeps this up any longer, he might become king of the blacks. It just occurred to me, if he holds the line long enough, theoretically, he could actually become king of the blacks. And I've long said the blacks actually want a king. The blacks need a king. It might be this guy. I didn't, I didn't vote for him. It's not the king I asked for, but it's the king we got, apparently.
If you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building.
I bet you didn't even know this, but Unbothered is a person, and we've all just met him today. That's him right there. Yeah, I didn't even realize it today, but Unbothered is actually, there is an actual guy who's unbothered. It's him. It's him. Unbothered is a person, and it's him. He is the walking embodiment of unbothered. There's nothing a nigga bitch can say to me. My man is giving off Alabama vibes.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Let's fucking go. I want to hear nothing these bitches got to say. Wait, let me drop this image. Look at his face right now. Look at my man's face right now, bro. Oh God, what's the word for it? Back when we were downrange, we would have ended this thing real quickly. When they're downrange, they can disperse this crowd with the push of a button. But he's here, so we just gotta hold the door. We're just gonna hold the door.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem.
Now, everybody stand back.
All right, so this is the Department of Education.
Bro, did you really just post the Night's Watch pledge? Did you really? Oh my God. Now, because you posted it, or you probably went and looked it up and copied and pasted it. But because you posted it, now we have to read the Night's Watch pledge. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. Sir Hodor of the door. Hold on. There's more. I knew it was a lot longer than that. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn, the horn that wakes the sleepers, the shield that guards the realms of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. Sir Hodor of the Door, you are now a man of the Night's Watch. When all the dark hordes pour upon the land, you will be the first line of defense. Yeah, Carmen, it is kind of sad. It is kind of sad. It's a lone soldier's pledge, you know. You can't it's hard to give it all for land and country when you have a woman and children to think about. And so you just remove the women and children from the equation. The Night's Watch were basically like King's Westeros's version of the Unsullied. Like, if you think about what the Unsullied were, because they were like no sexual urges, they really had, you know, loyalty baked into them. They were focused on a singular mission, which is war. The Night's Watch was something like that, right? They were focused on a singular mission. And, you know, it is sad, especially if you're a girl looking at it. It does look very sad. But we need those guys because, you know, they be black walkers and shit. You heard about the White Walkers. No, they are black walkers. And they're coming for the bag. They want their money. You know what we're going to do? We are going to move this show over to Rumble. And then we're going to open up a panel. That's what we're about to do, y'all. We're about to move this whole thing over to Rumble. We're going to close down the main channel, and we're going to open up a panel. And so now is your last chance to move, get with the groove. I will see you guys on the next channel. I will see you on the other side. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to rumble for the next hour or so.
Les images de souvenirs lointains, beauté de paysage enflamme mon destin. Les airs d'autrefois déclinaient les saisons, aux innombrables voix ont écrit ma chanson. Je grave les images de souvenirs lointains, beauté de paysage enflamme mon destin. Les airs d'autrefois déclinaient les saisons, aux innombrables voix ont écrit ma chanson.
done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.
All right, it sounds like we are live on Rumble. I see the chat is populating nicely. Thank you guys for showing up. You guys follow me to the next platform. I really greatly appreciate that, because you know we're trying to spread our wings, man. I have to be bigger than YouTube. YouTube won't let me be who I am. And I'm having a hard time because everywhere I go, it seems like I can only be me. And so I got to be me, and here we are. And you guys apparently, you guys really fuck with me like that, and that's awesome. That is so awesome. And so I really thank you all for showing up. And now we have a panel. Some of our regular guests. We have True Hype. Thank you so much for being the sponsor of this evening's show. Appreciate you guys. Don't let True Hype steal y'all thunder, man. Hit that Rumble. Smack that Rumble chat button, donate to the show. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Thank you all for your support. We have True Hype in the house, American Man, and then Mr. O with the info. Shout out to everybody in the gang who shows up. First question I want to just lay at the feet of the panelists right now. Have we properly defunded Black Girl Magic?
Go ahead, American Man.
Good evening, gentlemen. How's everyone doing? No. Black Girl Magic will be back in a different form. So I got to go with no on that one. For now, it's defunded, but it'll only be defunded if it stops being executive orders and it starts being law of the land.
Yeah, I think we're in the beginning. But I like where we're headed. Anyone
else? I do too. Okay. Go ahead. I'll save what I got for.
If you're not finished, by all means. No. I was just opening up the floor. But if you're not finished, please.
No. I just find it ironic, right? Whereas 96% of Black women that work in government work for all Democrats. And they're crying to Republican men about being underpaid. And they don't see the irony in that.
Not only that, but those same men, they've been waging an open war against for it. The last 4 years have been a very open war. It's been quiet for decades, but this last 4 years under Biden, you voted for a white man proudly and then turn around and then declare war on white men. And you act like nobody sees y'all.
Right, but you cry to me about being underpaid. And like the person underpaying you is who you will lay down your life for. I mean, what are we doing here?
American Man, you do your best Bill Clinton impression, and you'd be like, I feel your pain.
For real.
Hey, and Fred G. Sanford in the chat says, gotta get the Department of Education next. Fred, that is the building that they're standing in front of. Sir Hodor of the door, that's the door. This is where he becomes a knight. This is the door. It's at the Department of Education. They just went from one department to the next with an abacus and a guillotine. And it's just been heads rolling.
Hey, I have a question. And and not to cut off the next guy. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut off the next guy. But I think this is an interesting question. So it was young white men that Elon Musk has decoding all of this, right? What if it was young, educated Black men? Would there be less outrage or more?
More. There'll be more.
Probably more, man, because their mama's Black.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
then
equivalent, if not more.
Then they'll add on to that. They'll say, "What about the girls?"
Because remember, as much as the straight white man is public enemy number one, the straight Black man is a second. You know, we are right behind him in that, and so being, you know, black men being the white people of black people. All right. Put it this way, Clarence Thomas. I rest my case.
Oh yeah.
I often say number one because I mean, like everyone, especially the black woman, has complete vitriol for the straight black man that's like not bowing down. So I often say the straight black man is number one, but I don't want to argue about the order because look at Clarence
I don't think
Thomas,
you can
right?
argue about the order because it's written into policy at this point. There is no remove straight black men from leadership program. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing though. You didn't have to write into policy to remove the straight black men. It was just done. But you have to write into policy to remove straight white men.
Interesting.
But again, let's not get caught up on that.
No, I won't. I like what you have to say, and I'm going to let it stand.
So good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. I find it also ironic, and thank you for the great intro about salaries of these politicians, these charlatans, grifters. Ironically, Nancy Pelosi's net worth is $252 million. Mark Warner, $246 million. Joe Biden, $25 million. Barack Obama, $70 million. Hillary Clinton, $120 million. Also, speaking of Clinton, did you know portions of that so-called Haiti charity fund that they will supposedly send down there? Majority that went to young Chelsea, the little buck teeth, little alien crossbreed between Bill.
Hey, Mr. O, I don't know if that's the case. No, I'm not correcting you on like, you know, the nefarious acts, but the Haiti fund, man, is that's something different than the USAID. So she got what, 84 or $86 million just herself.
Yeah, it's part of it. That's part of it. It's part of it.
Hold on.
They broke that.
The Haiti fund
I'm pretty
is
sure there is USAID money that fucked up Haiti too, but
Yes.
there may be separate policies. You know what I mean?
Yes, but some of the funds from the USAID did go for Haiti through the Clinton whatever they call it.
Foundation.
Foundation.
In which the Clintons through the generous donations of the American tax payers basically funded young Chelsea's wedding, you know what I'm saying, and her honeymoon and her mansion.
So was it I want to say 5 years after the earthquake, people were still living in tents.
Yes.
And Bill Clinton's brother, I can't remember the dude's first name, but he got all the contracts to do the building.
Is it Roger?
And they didn't build one permanent structure in like 5 years and X amount of like millions to like it was ridiculous how many multi-millions they got, man.
Well, I'm
sorry.
Let me
crazy?
just
This isn't connected to USAID, but it's just a fact about Kamala because this came out during the campaign. She was personally in charge of this broadband program to like bring internet connection to like a bunch of homes in the South or these like, you know, rural areas, you know, farmland and, you know, all these. A lot of America is like, you know, 100 miles to the next neighbor and stuff. So they were going to bring broadband, Wi-Fi, whatnot to these areas. And so there's like a $500 billion program, bro. Nobody got on the internet. $500 billion. Nobody made it to the internet, bro. How do you do that?
No, like it's even worse. The charging, the electric vehicle charging network they were going to put on like what they built like 3, maybe
8.
And it was
600 million.
Real quick. Hold on. Let me take a quick pause for a little station business. Shout out to Anunnaki, the one with the giant $50 Rumble chat. I think you just became the official sponsor of tonight's show. He says, "Shut your pie hole, Maxine, ye old bitch ass commie hoe." I don't know if they use those words in old England, but we'll allow it. Ye old bitch ass commie hoe.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you!
Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
And then also shout out to SKC, the Big Brother Coon. He says somewhere Stanley is looking at this white man and saying, "Motherfucker, open the door." Stanley was definitely, this is all the spirit of Big Gay Stanley. This whole crowd is the spirit of Big Gay Stanley. And I guess it takes a powerful white man, a noble white man, to stand up to Big Gay Stanley, you know, or a nigga like me too. You know, you just got called Big Gay Stanley. He's like Rumpelstiltskin. If you call him by his name, he loses all his power. But shout out to SKC and the Big Gay Stanley joke. But we were talking about, all right, removing the money from it all. I need to raise another question, and this is a little bit of a spicier topic right here, right? What do you predict for race relations in the next 4 years? Are things going to get a little bit more intense between the blacks and the whites, or the blacks and the Mexicans, or the whites and the Mexicans, or the Indians and everybody else in America? Like, what are your predictions on race relations under the next Trump administration?
Are you
Depends on gender. Depends on gender.
Take it whichever way you want to answer the question.
I like this. Go ahead.
I'm glad you asked that question, because I've been saying this. I don't think black people understand. This is their last hurrah. This denial of Trump is actually the end of black people, in my opinion.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
Well, I'm already swarthy, so the blacks had a good run. I was pro-black, and I'm black.
I think in this moment, black people
You
are
said the blacks
actually.
had a good run. We gotta hang it up now. That's fucking crazy.
I think the blacks.
Yeah, I was pro-black, and I'm black.
You got to change the jersey number. You got to go to 33 now.
Yeah, no, I went from number 12.
Yeah,
See, we got mystical number 12 that Jordan wore in that particular game. He killed it, but we'll never see that ever again. That was like the black hope.
I mean, do you niggas not hear
I'm
me?
sorry.
Or like, am I?
No, I'm sorry. I was just about to
like,
give it right back to you. I was just about to give it right back to you, because I know we were stepping all over you just now. I'm
like,
sorry,
I'm about to go white man on you guys.
It was over for us. He just said it was over for us, bro. We got to throw up our jersey in the rafters, bro.
No, I think he's right. No, he's correct, right? Like under Trump, like black people are supposed to be actually rallying for Trump, and they're in full force fighting against him. And the Democrats have already made it clear that we're done with you. We're riding out with the illegals, and with them sitting out with blacks sitting out Kamala and some voting for Trump, the Democrats are going to definitely put their foot on the blacks' neck and straight up get rid of them. I think it's over for black people. I think they have dug their grave too far, because contrary to popular belief, all white people are sick of listening to the crying. Even the liberal ones that told you to cry so that they can purposely get rid of you. I think everyone's done with it now. It's over.
Again, they can hang it up like that beautiful 23 jersey in the United Center. I mean, we had a good run, but the 90s is over. Jordan's not walking through the door. Pippen's not walking through the door. Robin's not walking through the door. And if they do, they're going to have calcium on the elbows and shoulders, and they're going to have arthritis on the knees.
I think the better term is bury them. Bury the jersey. I think that'll be a better term.
I think as far as like I think you're right, American man, but I think for different reasons you're right. I don't think the Democratic Party as a whole has the time, inclination, or even competence to put their foot on anybody's neck. They can't even get rules right for how they're going to vote for, like, you know, the dude that wasn't even present for the school shooting that he's grifting off of all these years.
You know
Speaking
what's
that,
interesting
Griff.
about that? You know
Go
what's
ahead. Go ahead,
interesting
Hood.
about that the DNC selection process the other day? It was a couple years ago. They had an American Socialist Party convention, and it was almost exactly like that, where it was
Point
just a
privilege.
lot of
Point
weird.
privilege.
Yeah, you saw the clips, right? Because it kind of went viral, and it was really a bizarre thing to watch, like all these weird people under one tent try to like make rules for all of the weird people together. And it was just the strangest thing. And I don't even know how they got through it. And I couldn't imagine getting through something like that. There is no way to get through that, because how do you respond to infinity desires? Like that's basically what was going on in there. It was really crazy.
It was hard to get to a 5-minute clip. I couldn't imagine, like, going to one of those meetings is probably going to be a lot longer than a regular meeting. Because, like what, a regular meeting, hour and a half maybe. That joint got to be like, 5 hours just for the rules.
Bro, just for the rules. Like, could you imagine? I couldn't deal with that kind of crowd, but they want to run the world. That's the really scary part about it. They've actually been running the world. If you think about the tentacles of the USAID program, people are saying that USAID program is used to like topple governments. Like we will pay for social disruption, like the entire Arab Spring and
Yeah, it's true.
the what was that revolution in Ukraine, the Maidan or whatever. Like we all
Don't forget
paid
about
for that
Cuba.
with our money.
The color revolution.
Color revolution, yes.
Because they had like two.
Let me do a little station business real quick. Shout out to Gigi Ben in the chat. He says, Trump, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. Yeah, yes. I'm gonna hit you with the Conan clip because you deserve the Conan clip for that one. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Appreciate you guys donating to the show, y'all. Thank you so much for coming through tonight. We rumbling strong tonight, y'all.
This is good. But what is best in life? The open steppe, free thoughts, falcons at your wrist, and wind in your hair. Wrong! Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good.
You guys actually go back. You
Damn
ever,
right.
You ever rewatch Conan like as an adult? Conan is such a great story. There's something so base and primal about the Conan
Base Chad.
story.
He was base Chad. What? Hey man,
Right,
can't bring
he was like the OG base Chad. That is ill.
Hey, can't bring up Unbother Bruce back on the screen. I just like the symbolism of Unbother Bruce with the crown. Thank you, Unbother Bruce. Yes, all right.
But no, Conan was such an ill movie. When I go back and watch it, and then the diversity. I think about that. This is why they don't want to make movies like this right now, because it's gonna fuck up everything they're trying to do.
Yeah.
If you look at the Conan story, Conan was base Chad in the land of diversity chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the enemy in that movie? A black guy with game and bitches.
Hey, he had that perm.
Yeah.
He had this silky joy. He let his soul glow. The nigga had the soul glow perm. The nigga was, bro, he was on some pimp shit like James Earl Jones was Warrior Pimp.
Yes.
I mean, he was a nigga. He was a nigga. He was really a nigga in like 10,000 BC. And it was like base Chad versus Warrior Pimp. And it was epic. And then he had his white woman Valhalla bitch. Valkyrie. She turned into a straight up Valkyrie at the end. And you know what I realized too, as I read up on Conan and Crom is technically a part of the Asgardian pantheon. So like Thor and what's his face, Odin and whatnot, right? So it made perfect sense that she actually turned into a Valkyrie at the end of it. So, you know, watching that movie as an adult, I see this shit with totally different eyes now.
Damn. That's deep.
It was deep. It was deep. It was base Chad versus the warrior pimp, the king of Chaos Land, which is compared to the world we live in right now. It's kind of, you know, kind of prophetic.
Hey, shout out to Studio Ryu, man. Like, yeah, Arnold don't hit the same no more, man, after you talking about fuck your freedom.
Yeah, he tried to apologize for that now too. He's like, you know, I said some things. I was a little. It must have been the steroids. I don't know. He said some things. He tried to apologize though. He tried to.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling myself.
Nah,
Man, really
man.
tried to walk that shit back though. That shit's crazy.
Nah, man. Get your
We'll
ass
take
back
back
on that
Arnold.
chopper, man. Get your ass back on that chopper.
Back to the chopper.
Hey,
Hold on. Grabian just sent another $1 Rumble chat to a True Hype. Let me read this. He says, True Hype, they had a retarded Rubik's Cube they threw at us that frustrated and distracted us for way too long.
Man.
Oh, that's Midwest Request. Oh, okay. Yeah, shout out to Midwest Request for the show. Appreciate you. They threw the fucked up Rubik's Cube at us.
We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it.
Hey, you see,
How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the Black community?
Bitch, you ain't.
Hey, Hood. You see, Orange Man revoked Old Man Joe's security clearance.
Yeah, I saw somebody put that in the chat, but I didn't look at it myself. I didn't know if it was real or just somebody, you know, trolling or whatever. But I did see that in the chat.
It's being reported by multiple sources now.
Go on Twitter,
Oh,
Hood.
SKC asked, did you see the New York Times article, the Manosphere is mainstream? What did I say? I did that stream weeks ago, bro.
Nigga, we made it.
I literally, yeah, bro. I did that stream right after the election. Right after the election, I said, we got the juice now. We are the cool kids now, bro.
Actually, wasn't the New York Times
Who's
that
the
had
ball
that,
now, Warden?
it wasn't it the New York Times that had that whole like write up about the cruel kids, talking about like all the white people around Trump.
No, it was like New York Magazine or something. And you know what's so funny?
They cropped out the black people.
Right, that image they use, it was full of like white people in tuxedos and ball gowns and whatnot. But that party was thrown by C.J. Pearson, a young black Republican.
Oh wow!
The whole party, it was his fucking party.
Hey, because there was about 8 black people to the left, man. When they after they showed you what they cropped out, and it's like a string of black people on the side, like looking at these cats. So it's almost like they had their own tables, like, you know what I'm saying, in a certain area.
Bro. That was nasty how they cropped out all the black people, and it was a black dude's party. Like he put the whole thing together. But then the news is like, look at all these evil white people. Look at these evil white people.
Yo.
Hey, speaking of kings and whatnot, let me share another clip with y'all.
Someone who is unelected. It doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the fields campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty. We all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously, but I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job. And my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen. And
we only have one king, and you're looking at him, bitch. It's him right there. That's your king. Neil.
Unbothered Bruce. That's his name.
Yes, Neil before Sir Bruce. Sir Hodor of the Door. Neil.
She's spends a lot of time getting pressed, man. A lot of time getting pressed.
Bro, I feel like
Man.
she's a CIA plant, bro. I swear to
Shit,
God.
bro,
She getting
no.
multiple government checks, bro. That USAID shit ain't fuck up none of her money. Her money
Man,
comes straight from the
looking
tax.
like Eddie Murphy when he was preacher Paulie and Vampire in Brooklyn at him right now.
No, I mean she's like a more articulate AOC, man.
I wouldn't say articulate. I mean, she knows words, but she's really the Keisha version of AOC. Because see, Spanish girls don't really Keisha. You know, they'll do that. You know,
Shit.
It's not quite a Keisha, bro. It's a different flair to it.
Hood. You
I'm
come
just
from
speaking
Brooklyn, bro.
stylistic.
Look, bro, you come from Brooklyn. You got Dominicans. You got them. What else? The Puerto Ricans and all that. Man, I know they got that fucking sister neck that's snapping their fucking fingers and they cursing you out and fucking niggas.
No, Mr. O, they got that.
Bro, I'm telling you.
My bad. Brooklyn got that new chick, man. She over in Pakistan right now. I shared it with you, Hood. Shout out to Mr. Jet for putting that on the radar, man.
That story is kind of, you know, it's crazy. I couldn't cover it when it first came out because I didn't have like internet service at the moment. But I've been watching that story. It's kind of fading away now. But that shit's crazy, bro. She went all the way. To Pakistan too.
Yeah, she getting forced back to the United States. She actually agreed because they're gonna put her in an insane asylum because I guess they felt bad for her because they're like, yo, she must be like off because women don't act like this over here.
Think about that, right? Think about that for a minute. She's probably just your average, you know, regular round the way girl like LL Cool J used to want to fuck, right? And you take your average regular round the way girl and you drop her off in Pakistan and they immediately try to put her in an insane asylum. They're like, this bitch, she must be crazy. There's no other way. Allah forbid, she must be crazy. Like, no woman could be like this. And so immediately they put her in an insane asylum. But over here, we just let her roam free. Out here stealing chicken nuggets and buying French fries and shit. She just gets to roam the countryside. But in a less civilized country like that, they immediately understand, oh no, she's just obviously crazy. Like we wouldn't even treat her like we would treat other women, which you know, rape and torture. No, she's crazy, so we're gonna put her in a hospital. You realize how fucked up that looks? You know how crazy that makes us look?
Very crazy, man. Man.
The banality of crazy.
I'm just saying, we've just become so accustomed to it that we don't even consider removing her from society. Meanwhile, over there in like Savage Land, they didn't even treat her like, you know, what we normally assume would happen to a random woman who goes astray in Pakistan. They didn't even go there with her. No. She is clearly disturbed. Like,
they look.
There's
They
obviously something wrong here,
bro. They want to have the bloods of a combative Keisha on their hands. It wouldn't be honorable.
That's what Thorazeman's for. Let's make asylums great again, y'all. I mean, even if I have to go, even if I have to be committed myself, I'm willing to do it.
I call them funny farms. I send a lot of women there. You know what I'm saying?
What if Doge closes down all these government departments and the one thing they say we got to reopen is asylums? That would be so beautiful. We're going to shut down the Department of Ed. We're going to shut down USAID. Hell, we're going to shut down the IRS. But the one thing we're going to keep is the goddamn institutions.
There's a bunch of unelected shadow government trying to steal all the taxpayer dollars. You guys heard from Hakeem Jeffries? He's he made a motion for a Stop the Steal Act.
Man.
Saying that Republicans
and all the money.
The Republicans are trying
all the money
to steal tax dollars.
Yeah, like the thieves are calling the police thieves. That's really what's happening. The thieves are calling the cops thieves.
The Gons, like Hakeem Jeffries, he want to die on that hill, and then they're gonna blame it on black men. See, we need to separate ourselves as free thinking straight black men, and the rest of the Gons, they had draw their line. They came in the sand. Pause. They are who they are. They are the part of the 92 percentile. That's who they are. They rode the strag. Hakeem, we don't believe you and we ain't supporting you, bro. I'm passing the mic.
No, man, like that dude, like he can't stand next to me. I'll tell you right now, man. Like we are not the same. So like I ain't got to worry about that. Like them type of cats.
And I wouldn't stand next to Chuck Schumer.
Oh, bro,
They're buddy. Hakeem and Chuck Schumer, they're buddy right now.
y'all New Yorkers.
Chuck Schumer looked like the guy. Chuck Schumer looks like he would always try to put his hand in your back pocket. No other pocket, just the back pocket.
Hakeem and Chuck Schumer. Real quick, Hakeem and Chuck Schumer are buddies. Hakeem is just a useful idiot, and Chuck Schumer has plans to the day he dies.
Hey, Hakeem looked like he listened to Ja Rule in 2025, man.
No. Yo, I don't know.
What would I be without my baby?
No, he listened to Murphy Lee.
Yo, true, I want to be against that, but I know it's real.
No, he listened to Murphy Lee. Oh, matter of fact, even worse, he listened to Silk the Shocker.
Damn, I can't believe I used to listen to that shit back in the day.
It was the late 90s going into the 2000s, and niggas was wearing big t-shirts and wilding.
Kanye just put out a tweet with a picture of himself back in the day, right?
Bro.
And it was a picture where he had a t-shirt, with like the swastika with the line through it, the S Nazis, fuck Nazis, and he said, "Yeah, I used to be woke too." Kanye back on Twitter.
Kanye is crashing now, bro.
He was spurging on Twitter crazy, bro. Kanye is my favorite nigga.
He still is.
Bro, he's not spurging, bro. He's in full troll mode. I don't think you guys think Kanye's going crazy. This is complete. I'm going to troll everyone. He's trolling to the death.
I mean, I guess you got it, man, when they take all your money.
Yeah, well, here's the whole thing. You already done what you're going to do. What can you do? I'm just going to spaz out at this point.
Nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose.
There it goes.
Man should have all that power. The clock's ticking. I just counted the hours.
Hey, you know what? This is a little bit back in time. You guys remember when we were all burning down the country?
Is this
You
Minneapolis?
guys remember that when we were all like lighting all the police stations on fire and stuff like that? I think a guy said before us too. It was crazy. Yeah, you guys remember that? It was wild, right?
5 years ago.
The summer of love, man.
We weren't,
but now we finally figured out where
we saw it go down.
We finally figured out where all those bricks came from, bro. Now we know.
Well, they knew pretty. They knew pretty early. Some of it was linked to Soros, man. Come to find out, like some of his pet projects were getting funded through USAID.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
That's what I was just about to tell you. Now we know it was us. We bought the bricks. We paid for the bricks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taxpayers.
Price of the brick went down.
We were selling the bricks and buying the bricks at the same time. Isn't that dope?
No,
we were selling the bricks and buying the bricks for ourselves.
We are the brick that the builder refused.
So I looked at an article from CNN about Politico getting their $8.2 million. And there were people in there talking about how it's not just Politico and it's not just USAID that purchases these highly expensive subscriptions. And I'm thinking, so $8.2 million is just the surface of what essentially is U.S. agencies with careers in political matters deferring to news organizations for their political direction.
Right. So
like a human centipede.
Yeah, as I understand it, you will have one organization that like they exist as some kind of news media outlet theoretically, but when you look into the numbers, it's like 52 grand a year for a subscription. Who in the hell is
Yeah.
subscribing to that?
Yo, NPR. You guys know NPR is fully funded by the government, right?
National
Like
Public Radio.
I heard that years
Well,
ago.
that's the way it was. It was always that way. That's not a secret per se. But to know that, it's on top of that, then USAID money is being spent to make it even more liberal.
Well, there was that one chick talking about she was on NPR giving like basically like a TED talk talking about we can't let truth get in the way of damn, I can't if I find the clip I'll send it to you.
In the way of doing the right thing.
Yeah, true. We can't let the quest for truth get in the way of doing something. Like it was a really bizarre female thing.
Was that AOC? Wasn't it AOC that said that shit?
No, it was some blonde white lady. I forget her name. She said,
like AOC said something like absolutely ridiculous, like truth does not affect like moral superiority or something like that. Something to that effect.
I want to ask you guys a question. This is about the USAID thing, right?
Before you ask that question real quick, Hood, let me just say this. I did notice the lady that was saying that. She had a beautiful nose.
Funny.
Some people like feet, some people like noses. Go ahead.
The USAID thing, we find out that as Americans, our country, we are paying for the BBC. Does that make us gay?
Hey, British Broadcasting Corporation, man. Like not that BBC.
Yeah, different BBC, man.
I'm just saying, I see 40-something million to the BBC, and I'm like, we're really gay, aren't we?
Hey, that line item is crazy, man.
BBC is pretty gay.
I mean, that's a lot of money for we spend a lot of money on BBC, and it kind of brings a tear to my eye. It makes my heart very sad, but it's just it's line item proof that we're actually very gay, and I don't like that for us. We got to stop buying so much BBC.
Well, I saw a list of a few other things that the money's been going to. Almost $8 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq.
What about the one in Colombia?
I think that was a Disney thing, but they probably spent a shitload of money there too.
No, it was for an orchestra, a transgender orchestra in Colombia.
Yeah. There was $6 million to transform digital spaces to reflect feminist democratic principles. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. 10 million funded meals, which went to an Al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group.
I'm glad you mentioned that, man. Ilhan Omar was doing a stump, like almost an impromptu stump speech the other day when she was protesting, and she was like, without USAID, like my family wouldn't have got fed when we were in the whatever camp she was in or whatever before she made the pilgrimage. And I was like, yo, like why would you want to rely on that? Why would anybody? There's Africans actually talking about, hey, it's a good thing that we need to do this stuff on our own now. They got videos of Africans saying this. It's like, hey, we shouldn't be relying on all these other countries because then we won't be self-sustaining.
Let me show you guys.
Allegedly, last thing, Hood. Allegedly, AOC got some of her college paid for from USAID. I haven't verified that yet.
Let me show you guys some of the things we're spending money on.
And what she went to NYU?
She's an economics major.
welfare
Oh
funds
Lord.
creating transgender mice, rats, and monkeys. These DEI grants funded painful and deadly transgender experiments that forced lab animals to undergo invasive surgeries and hormone therapies at universities across the country. For example, the Biden-Harris administration spent $2.5 million taxpayer dollars, $2.5 million taxpayer dollars to study the fertility of transgender mice. Let that sink in.
Wow.
$2 million studying the fertility of transgender mice. $1.1 million was spent to find out if female rats receiving testosterone therapies to mimic transgender men were more likely to overdose on a party drug, commonly used in the LGBTQ community to induce drug-fueled what's called, quote, chemsex. I asked my staff.
Hold up. They gave the mice gay drugs and made them have gay drug sex. No, you can't be serious. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. They really think about this. No, think about what she
Yeah,
just said.
I
They
mean,
gave the mice gay drugs, and then they gave them transgender drugs, and then they gave them like gay drugs, like whatever the gays like. I don't know what the gays. There's some kind of thing in gay culture. There's a drug that a lot of them take or whatever, but then they gave him the gay drug, like the sex drug or whatever, and then they made him have gay sex. Holy shit, this is unbelievable.
Well, back in 2023, well, it was recently that Senator James Lankford made a list of a few things, like 8 to 10 items, something like that. One of those things was over $200,000 to trans monkeys in order to study HIV in trans women.
Yo,
Hey,
trans monkey.
yo, all they gotta do is
Hold on.
Trans monkey. That
all they
fucking
gotta do is do the Universe 25.
Hood, are you
That'd be-
full Rumble?
No, I'm half Rumble. I'm still on.
Yeah. If you want that other channel to live, shut it down. If you want that other channel to live, bro, shut it down now.
I can't dance the trans monkey.
Yeah, bro.
We gotta edit this one out. I gotta drop this one from the show.
What's wrong with trans monkey?
Yeah, it's a funky
If you
monkey,
want,
bro.
it ain't even just a singing. It's everything else before that, after that, and what's to come. If you want that channel to have some sort of hope, bro, you gotta shut it down.
But no, this isn't me. This is what the government is spending our money on, bro. They gave the mice transgender drugs, and
Can we call it
gay
Montran?
sex drugs, and then they made the transgender mice have gay sex while they were high, bro.
Can we call it monkey trans then?
They were grooming the mice, bro. Who groomed the mice?
Grooming the mice is crazy.
They eating the dogs, they grooming the mice.
Oh yes, shout out to Trump. He tried to warn us, bro. Trump tried to warn us, man. You lucky I don't still have that clip anymore, bro. Trump really did try to warn us, and they didn't want to listen.
Yo,
I could find it for you.
Everybody call Alex Jones crazy. Everybody call Alex Jones crazy, man. He's like, turn frogs gay. And it's like, there's a clip, and I was like, yeah, that's back when he was on YouTube too, when he said that. I was like, what the hell is this dude talking about, man?
Yo, I'm just gonna make an
I
announcement.
think I'm gonna take. Hold on, American man, real quick. I think I'm gonna take your advice. And everybody listening, if you're still over on the YouTube channel, we're gonna just go total Rumble right now. We're gonna go full Rumble, all right, complete Rumble, because I think you actually did just make an interesting point, American man. You know, all this gay mice sex is really too much for YouTube, so we're gonna probably pull this whole thing off the show. So if you haven't left that last chat on YouTube, you need to leave now. Here's the link to the Rumble. Because they're turning the freaking mice gay, bro.
Yo, so can we call Rumble?
Oh, man, you thought it was just frogs.
Can we call Rumble YouTube After Dark or just adult YouTube now?
It really is adult YouTube over here.
Well, I just want to point something out real quick. shout out to True Hype, but I think he's married to a liberal wife because every time we have these conversations, he seems to have to go into the cellar where the internet gets sketchy. I'm just saying, I could be wrong, but I think
You said
he's
he went in the
married
man
to a
cave?
liberal wife.
He went in the man cave?
It gets sketchy.
Oh man, yeah.
See?
Yeah, bro, you deep in the man cave. You know what? It's starting to make sense, bro. It is starting to make sense because the signal did get a little bit shakier, like the most shaky it's been all night just now.
But and look, he got to find a way to justify getting a whole other cable box down, getting a whole other internet box down there. So like he be standing by the window.
Real quick, let me officially end the last part of the YouTube stream. So if you haven't moved over, we're leaving right now. I might actually just edit a lot of this last part out of the show because it's a little too hot for TV over here on YouTube. So we're moving over to Rumble. It's like YouTube for adults over here. So appreciate you guys following me. I'm gonna have to edit this one out later. I'll catch you guys, man. We're rumbling full time now. Peace.